everyone, my name is Lola Shoetan and I am a nursing student of the Indiana State University. My topic today that I'm presenting on is substance abuse. The population at risk for my presentation on substance abuse are young adults between the ages of 18 and 25. The reason this age group is targeted is because they're youths and they're transitioning into adulthood, and they have some of the highest rates of alcohol and substance abuse, and that's why we're focusing primarily on them. My learning objectives for this presentation are: the population at risk will be able to define and understand what substance abuse is. They will understand how substance abuse can affect a person economically, psychologically, and physically. They would also be able to identify what triggers substance abuse or what causes them to use it in excess or use it at all. They will also understand the impact of substance abuse on adolescents. They will be able to identify intervention strategies and counseling points for substance abusers. Lastly, they will also understand how to utilize government intervention strategies for their own benefit. And at this time, I would like us to take a pre-test before we begin the lecture. I've uploaded a link to this on Blackboard, but it's also up here. So you can either pause this video and try to take it, or you can access the pre-test on Blackboard. It's a 10-question multiple choice test. After that, we'll go back to this presentation. Now my teaching outline. So my teaching outline is, I'm going to follow this order. It's going to tell us what substance abuse is, what triggers substance abuse, how alcohol and drugs can affect a person, drug abuse and its impact on families, the impact of substance abuse on adolescents, several intervention strategies, stages of change and counseling strategies for drug abusers, and also government strategies to try to assist in curbing the prevalence of substance abuse. Now, what is substance abuse? So substance abuse can be defined as an overindulgence in or dependence on an addictive substance, something like alcohol or drugs, most popular. Substance abuse also refers to harmful or hazardous use of psychoactive substances, including alcohol or illicit drugs. Now, what are drugs? We say drugs all the time. A drug is any substance that, when inhaled, injected, or smoked, either it's being consumed or absorbed via a patch on the skin or dissolved under the tongue, it causes a physiological change in the body. Now, we have some drugs that could be abused that are prescription medications. We have over-the-counter drugs that also could be abused, and we have illicit drugs as well. Alcohol, also known by its chemical name ethanol, also has some psychoactive substances. They're usually in drinks such as beer, wine, hard liquor, and usually when consumed, it causes the consumer to have a mood lift or a sense of euphoria. Now, what triggers substance abuse? Exposure to the substance itself, seeing other people abusing it. I would like to specifically point out the last bullet point, which talks about having a parent who also engages in substance abuse. This can foster or promote a child in such a household to also abuse a substance. Now, the impact of alcohol and drugs on a person, it can affect a person economically. I attached a brief picture here just to see how much money it's estimated that we spend, or the government spends, on trying to curb substance abuse on a yearly basis. And we see that for illegal drugs, it goes all the way up to 181 billion a year. For alcohol, it's about 185 billion a year. And for tobacco, it's about 193 billion per year. And you see the total, you see how much money, not only are we spending so much money as a society trying to curb these excesses, but the people who indulge in things like this also spend a lot of money buying and providing these things for themselves or to their friends. Psychologically, it has the impact of substance abuse can be felt psychologically as well. We have long-term psychological effects and we have short-term psychological effects, and we see that all these can be as a result of being dependent or using or abusing these illicit drugs and alcohol. Physically, you can experience several different physical discomforts such as tremors when your hands are shaking. You have flu-like symptoms, diarrhea, anxiety, sleep problems. There's also a risk of developing liver cirrhosis, which is just death of your liver cells when you abuse alcohol. I touched on this a little bit earlier. Drug abuse in families. A family whose parents or whose father or mother indulges in substance abuse cannot take care of their family in the right way, and that could be a gateway for the child to also indulge in such a behavior. Now, the impact of substance abuse on adolescents, as we can see, it's here. The impact of substance abuse on adolescents, it can create a chaotic home life. It breeds violence. It contributes to mental health problems. Contributes to physical health problems. Creates difficulties at school. It fuels emotional issues and it increases their risk of drug addiction. Now, intervention strategies. What is the essence of learning all these if we don't know how to curb or try to help those who are addicted to drugs? We can find an intervention specialist. Also, when you find one, it has to do with you either talking to the addict alone or you can try to contact a counselor. Another one is to form an intervention group. We'll talk about that in a little bit, which is like AA groups, or that is Alcohol Anonymous groups or Narcotics Anonymous groups, NA meetings, where people who have been addicted come to share their stories and the importance of trying to be clean. Also to learn and rehearse, the intervention specialists will educate participating members in addiction and in addiction recovery. Knowledge and compassion is provided, and the intervention party can use that to convince someone that they really need to help. Now, what are the stages of change and counseling strategies? Like we see here, there's a pre-contemplation, which is where 6 months prior to when the abuser wants to start. Contemplation is within 3 months, where they're like, okay, I really want to do this. Preparation is within a week, where they're trying to take action. Action can be defined as 6 months after their said action, where they decide to fully commit to the decision they made to not be drug users or abusers anymore. And maintenance is just post that, where they accept and they're trying to maintain without relapsing. Now, this is some of the government strategies to help curb substance abuse. There's so many resources out there if you do research. The government spreads information. We have education now in schools. Problem identification and referrals. I attached the phone number here, where it's a 247 phone number where you can call, or you can also go on so many websites with 247 live chats to help talk about it. Like I said, we have AA and NA meetings. Some of them are open, some of them are closed. You can enroll in anyone based on who you're working with, just to help you out with this process. These are my references from my presentation, and if you have any questions for me, you can let me know. And besides that, I have a handout that I would like to share. This is the handout on substance abuse that I have prepared. And also, you can take the post test as well, just to see how much you understood the material. And thank you so much.